Welcome to the A-Train Show. And now here's your host, the A-Train, Arlington Lane.
What do you guys want to talk about?
Welcome to this edition of the A-Train Show, the A-Train Arlington Lane. I have no idea what's going on with my camera. I don't even know. Can y'all even see me? I have to John Cena y'all and stuff. What is the deal today, man? My light is playing tricks on me. So 1 second. Hold on. Let me stop the camera. But you can still hear me. But I have no idea what just occurred. But let's try this again. Still same effect. I got to do this now. My camera playing tricks on me, y'all. Look, this is funny. Ain't this? Look how I look at like this. This is absolutely asinine, right? Like my background that I have, it was like, nope, we're not gonna work. Oh, I think I know the reason. There it is. That's my camera. Okay. All right. Now time to bring my cast of characters into the show today. Jumping on with me from the Jersey the King show and the Gridiron. I think he's ready to go. Is he? And get a thumbs up from him or nothing. I can't see him. He see me, but I don't even know if he's ready to go. But anywho, before I bring them on, I got to do this real quick. I want to send my condolences to the family of Tammy Holland in St. Louis. She just passed away after a lengthy bout with cancer, and unfortunately, cancer won. And but she now gone at the age of 53. A staple in the St. Louis market. On her radio and television, and her interviews were always phenomenal. And one thing that you could remember about Tammy Holland was her laugh. Her laugh was everything to St. Louis, and got a chance to produce an interview for her 4 years ago. And even within the fight for her, she still was a trooper. She still was able to maintain. She had a fantastic interview, and I love her dearly, and she'll be missed around the St. Louis market. So I'm definitely giving out love to her family and to her daughter Meadow Grace. Thinking about you at this time of grief, but want to make sure I just gave my love to Tammy Holland. All right. So also, man, let me bring on my cast of characters. I want to make sure I got that out the way. Joining me, you ready, sir? Are you ready, dude? Are you ready? Can you hear me? Is Kevin JTK Womble ready to go? Oh, there he is. See, look, see, he, there.
What's up, y'all?
What's up? As his head was down.
Give my camera.
Yeah, exactly, man. And
wait
a minute, I'm hearing something, man. I'm hearing something. You know, when I hear that music, somebody's here. He's here.
It's time to go to church.
The pulpit is open. Sports pulpit is open, and Dr. Bobby Bailey Jr. is in the house. What's going on, sir?
Bluetooth is connected.
Who is that? Is that you again, dude? Is that you, dude?
The man.
How you doing, sir? How are you today?
Yeah, I'm good, man. How are you?
I'm definitely feeling it, but I'm okay today. If I'm gonna be honest with my people here on the show, like yesterday, I wasn't okay. I wasn't, but I am today, and I was able to laugh. People was able to make me laugh and things like that. So just keep me in your thoughts, and I'm gonna keep it 100 here on this show. So just pray for your boy, okay? Just do that for sure. All right. Let's get this bad boy cracking today. One of the first news stories I want to throw out. We're not going to do it yet.
What's happening? Jay,
Yeah.
what's going on, man? You good?
So if you didn't catch
I'm
it on
great, man. I'm
Saturday
blessed.
night, Team WNBA had defeated Team USA 117-109. Ogumbawale, 34 points in the game, was named MVP. This is the second time that she's been named MVP in a game against Team USA. So maybe there's a little something personal that
Hold
was
on.
going on. You got something for me?
She scored 34 points in the second half alone.
That's right.
21 points in the third quarter. 9 3-pointers.
Yep.
And yeah, she felt some type of way
She felt
for the
some type of
snub.
way. I think she
That's what I'm
took that
saying.
game completely personal. But there was a part of me,
She got
sir.
snubbed 2 years in a row.
Yeah. And there's a part of me that felt like Team USA didn't take that game seriously. The only reason why I say that is because they're getting ready for the Olympics. That's literally in 4 days, and they need to be at full strength when they get there. Granted, they were competitive in the game. I'm not saying that they weren't, but it looks like they were kind of being slow about it. They weren't trying to compete as hard because they're getting ready to go over to Paris and try to win a gold medal. Not taking anything away from Enrique because she did a phenomenal job. Same thing with Angel Reese, who got a double-double in the game as a rookie in the All-Star game. Phenomenal job. But there, of course, Kaylin Clark with her 10 assists, one shy of the All-Star game record. She did break the rookie record for the WNBA All-Stars. But I think Cheryl Miller took that game seriously too. Like, even though it's Team USA, she wanted to make sure that they were beaten too. So I wanted to make sure I got that out there. But this is the second time that Enrique has won MVP against the USA team. So this is not anything new here. So I'm proud of that. The game was great. 117, like I said,
She went
117, 109
crazy.
was the final score. Yeah, she did go crazy in that second half. So, it was everything. All right. I just wanted to make sure I got that out there. Okay. This is the big story for us here. If you ain't know, it's Association Entertainment Monday here at the A Train show. And one of the biggest stories that has just now dropped in the wrestling world is the fact that Bobby Lashley was removed from WWE's internal roster. And me personally, I'm like this. I'm grateful that we were able to get the second run of Bobby Lashley, but there was really nothing out there for him. And I'm upset on leadership that there was not anything that they were able to do for him. You get what I mean? Like, I wanted to see, we got to see a title run. He finally got his WWE championship in the second run, right? And he was around for about 3-4 years this go around.
Yeah.
So he was around for a little bit. But they're saying that him and also MVP contracts are set to expire, and they're not going to resign him. So losing out on a Bobby Lashley, is there something that can be said? And this is gonna be touchy because we in a touchy season. We in a touchy season. Is it? What are we seeing from our wrestlers? That is it the storylines that they're giving to them, or is it that they're not considered good enough to be a part of major storylines? Like, what is it? Like, Bobby Lashley is a superstar. Bobby Lashley is a champion, right? He got associated with he was associated with the Hurt Business first time, in which everybody was very upset that they could not do anything with the Hurt Business, that leadership did not do anything great for them for the Hurt Business for real. And then he got aligned with the Street Profits, and they couldn't make anything work with them. Was it a Bobby problem, or is it a leadership problem? Now, like I said, it's touchy. It's touchy. It's very touchy.
I
But
think it's both. I think it's both though. I think it's the Bobby problem and it's the leadership problem because Bobby is not as marketable as he was before, and because of the simple fact that what he brought to the table remember they were trying to make him a champion at one point, and he did have that run of champion at that point. But then right after he dropped the belt, then what do you do with it? Because he dropped the belt to an injury. He's suffering from a lot of real critical injuries that he's trying to keep recovering from. And this is like a stamp for Bobby. Like you get him on the run, he have an injury, it takes him a little bit to come back. When he comes back, he's not the same. And so you push him, and then when you push him, the injury causes him to step back. And once he steps back and come back into it, he lost the momentum. So it's a two-sided fold though when it comes to that, because I don't think they had the necessary game plan for him other than the Hurt Business. And right now it has no place. The Hurt Business has no place. There you give them an opportunity to jump back in there, but then what do you do with them? Who do they war against? Like what faction in SmackDown do they have that you can put them up against?
Right. I got you. I get where you're coming from. Right. And that's a good way to look at it. It comes from both sides.
Mhm.
And like I said,
Right.
we got to see him in his run as champion. We're grateful. Everybody was grateful to see it. We wanted to see it, but like
Yep,
you said, it's the marketing aspect that
yep.
they weren't able to do so. Now, believe it or not, you will be able, if we can get Jay Cargill to mesh as a wrestler. Marketing ability should not be a problem. Bianca Belair should not be a problem when it comes to marketing. Now, from the male side, it's kind of difficult at this point. And me and Kevin were talking about this before the show about who has right now the best storyline in WWE as a black male wrestler, and that person is Obafemi with the North American title in NXT. If you really look at it, he's a dominant force. He has a major championship. Right now,
Mhm.
nobody can stop him. So that's what I'm looking at. They took the belts off the
But
girls, but we're
but
gonna
let me ask you this: what storyline is surrounding them though? Like there is not a big storyline that's surrounding any African American wrestler in WWE right now. There's not one. Even though we had a Jay Cargill coming in, having a team with Bianca is only showing us developmental. So we don't really see like a storyline with any black wrestler currently.
right.
Because they just took it
And
away from Trick Williams.
Exactly. Exactly. So we don't have one.
And he's not even in the championship storyline anymore right now. He got completely snatched real quick. Your title runs over, boom. Ethan
so is
Page.
it so
And
is
now
is
Sean
there a
Spears. And who else is in the title run for the NXT
Ethan
belt?
Page? Yeah, Ethan Page. Well, that's because of how the storyline goes. Sean Spears and Ethan Page. Hey, I got you here. So now you have to scratch. You scratch my back, I scratch your back. Right. So with but look, guess what y'all doing? Y'all seeing it in front of you. You seeing it right now in front of you as we speaking about it,
Yeah.
right? And no, there's no disrespect to any wrestler that's on the roster right now because they're deserving of that moment. Because right now, the bloodline is a moneymaker, right? They are Samoan, they are of color. My thing is that's wonderful. I'm grateful for that. But I also want to see some African Americans do some work with that too. There is they if they're talented enough, they're on the roster for a reason. Let's build them up too. But it's going to be the ploy of they're not marketable.
You're gonna put them against each other. I'm telling you, it's gonna be the first rival is gonna be Bianca versus Jay Cargill. It's gonna be the big storyline of we were friends, we had each other's back, we were tag team partners, and then all of a sudden you flipped on me. And if that's gonna be when in actuality, Jay was supposed to be going against a Nia Jax, was supposed to be going against a Rhea Ripley. Like those were when you brought her in, she was supposed to be coming in as a dominant factor but because of the simple fact that her developmental was not as to par where WWE standards are, you pretty much don't have a marketable way to get her to that next level except use her against Bianca Belair. But that's black on black crime. I mean, for the sake of,
I
for
mean, let's
lack of a
be
better phrase.
let's be real. Let's keep it 100 here. Is that, listen, what is it going to take? Is it going to take, like what Mike says, can we see Shelton Benjamin be a top star in AEW? He's what, 47? He's up
I
there in
doubt it.
age. A
I
top
doubt it.
star?
I doubt it.
His days are done being that
Yeah.
guy.
Yeah.
He would.
Yeah.
Right now, we're looking at Swerve Strickland on top of the mountain for everybody.
Yep.
And hoping
Yeah.
that he stays at the top for a while.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because if he don't, guess
when
what?
you
Guess what's
actually
gonna wind
had a
up?
Keith Lee, you had a Keith Lee there. Like we had
No.
dominant people in place. Like I said, Bobby Lashley held it for a good minute until the injury. Once the injury came, you had the New Day with Kofi and all of them. They ran it for a good minute. But the thing of it is, you give Kofi the belt, you let him drop it, and then you don't give him another shot at it again. So it's almost kind of like, let me appease it for a moment, but then I have to give the people what they want. You know what I'm saying? And unfortunately, it does a disservice because the only way you get a real good top star, I really would be afraid to see what they do to Obafemi. Like I really would be afraid to see what they would do to him, because once you pull him up to the main roster, then who will you put him up against on side of a Gunther or a Braun Strowman? But knowing them, they're gonna get a Trick Williams and move him up, and then they're gonna have him and Trick going at it. Like it's just gonna be weird. It's gonna be weird.
See, but that was the discussion that I had seen online about a guy like Bobby Lashley. Remember MVP, who was part of the Hurt Business, co-founder of the Hurt Business, and then where's my guy Omos? What's gonna happen? You had this, you can't. It seems like you went and got these giants, but you can't market them. Why not? Why is that the case? Why you can't market these guys? And again, I understand the storylines that are major right now, and it's perfect. It's good. It's best for business. But it's like, is there any way that they can be incorporated into that, not as a just one-off or something, that they have an actually legit rivalry between the two? And that's where I'm wondering, are there any Black superstars that can be marketable? It makes you wonder that, because we're sitting here, we have to see Swerve Strickland on AEW because he was in WWE. He now has become the top guy in AEW, and that's that. We had Moose. Moose just got the title taken off of him, but he had it for a nice lengthy run in TNA.
Yeah.
And we hear from what the this partnership that we keep seeing being rumored between WWE and TNA. Does that mean Moose is going to make his way over to WWE? Joe Hendry, who's not Black, but my point is, you seen him make his way to NXT and stuff like that, right? You seeing him make moves, right? I'm want to see if that's what's going to be the case here for AEW. If that's what's going to be the case for WWE, is that going to be the case for TNA? We're seeing them, but it's like what, Moose probably had the longest run out of everybody as a champion, right? And he was a dominant champion, and that's what's cool. It was like, can we get that? Can we get that in the other major ones?
I don't see it, bro.
He said, is Triple H doing a disservice to top NXT talent and not promoting them fast enough? Let's be honest. Braun Breaker will probably still be in NXT if not for the Brock situation.
No, I agree with that.
I
totally agree with that, because But then here's the thing. I think they move him up, and then you don't ship out the other major stars that have been carrying belts all this time. Ain't no way. This is my opinion. I love Bayley. There's no way she's supposed to be still holding the belt. No way at all. But I believe she's about to drop it. So you got to give somebody else an opportunity. I think that's where a lot of the problems come in. You promote them to a different brand, to the main roster from NXT, but then you don't give them shots at becoming champion, which is why we were talking about bringing in multiple championships, because it gives more people opportunity to actually have a shot at something, and while you're still maneuvering people around. But
Unless
you always get a return like a, you know what I'm saying? Getting these returns from older guys that should be trying to, promote the next group of people. And then when they get up there, of course, the older guys hold the belt in order to, it just makes it weird.
you got something to add with that, JTK?
Honestly, I wanted to really touch on what Pastor was talking about with Jade and Bianca real quick.
Okay.
In a way, I see where he's going with that, but is that a good thing for when it comes to the conversation of African American wrestlers, male or female? Is that a good thing to have them lean on each other just to push them? You know what I mean? Like, it's like the same thing with what we were talking about. Black champions not lasting long. You know what I mean? If you push Jade over with Bianca or through Bianca, you're doing a disservice to Bianca and also to
Ah, doggone it. He froze up. He froze up on me. He was about to make his point, and he froze up on me.
Charlotte Flair if she come back. You know what I mean? So it's like, where do we go? And again, it goes to the conversation. How many African American wrestlers can be marketed as top stars? Like, I feel for Obafemi or Obafemi. I think Obafemi is going to get treated like Keith Lee once he goes to the main roster. I think he's going to get done like Keith Lee once he gets to the main roster, and I'm afraid his character development isn't going to go anywhere. You feel what I'm saying?
Wow. Saying
And then
Obafemi's
it's
not
like
gonna go
when
anywhere.
it comes to having black champions, they don't get that long run. Say again? I'm sorry.
Did we lose him?
Oh no, he back. I think with like Omar, marketable. I think that was the problem with Omar, right? Bobby Lashley was, so you can use that. I thought they was going to actually turn Bobby Lashley into like, so that he can start promoting the next group of people. So I can understand him. Let me manage the street profits. I can understand. With Obafemi, I think because he's a dominant factor, I try to utilize him like a Brock Lesnar. They should be doing with Braun Breaker right now. They should make him factor and let him just run through. But with Obafemi, I think if they move him up to the next level, I hope they don't do him like they did Braun Strowman. Hold the belt a lot. When he first got it, dominant he was, how massive he was. Kane, him going against some of the bigger guys, he would have been able to bring a little bit more, off the ride back. We lost those bigger guys. Braun Strowman at that time become champion would have helped. How to do that? So my fear is they're gonna do over Femi like they did Braun Strowman because they don't know how to necessarily market without him being another Brock Lesnar.
I see where you're coming from. I get it. Yeah, and
But
well,
but
go ahead.
why is it? One second, real quick, A Train. But why is it that there has not been a black dominant champion since The Rock?
Well, that's
Can we
if you want
can
to.
we definitively answer that question?
Here's the thing to that. We really, if we what side are we going on? Are we going on his? Because remember, Dwayne the Rock Johnson didn't have really dominant runs. He was able to come in, do what he needed to do, be on his way. It wasn't a dominant champion. It was more of we need him because he's a top star and he looks good with the belt. Keep it for a few months and then take it off of him. So if that's the case, we never had that. If you want to look at somebody that has a complete dominant run, he's Samoan, and that guy is Roman Reigns. Having it for 3 years. If we're looking at it modernized, Cena never done it, Rock's never done it, Undertaker's never done it, but Roman Reigns has. Because of how good that
Steve Austin has.
storyline was. Not even Steve, in my opinion. Steve never had it where, because remember, you had so many superstars that was getting belts. Mick Foley, Undertaker, Rock, Stone Cold,
Triple H.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Brock Lesnar,
Triple
Hollywood
H.
Hulk Hogan. Let's not forget he had the belt at one point too. You know what I'm saying? Randy Orton, Edge,
Goldberg.
they all had it. Goldberg. See, that's what I'm saying, is that there's never really been a
Batista.
true dominance. Yep, they all had the belts, but never had a length like Roman
You're right.
Reigns, because that storyline has been, even though a lot of people have had its moments like, I'm starting to get sick of this. That was the point. That was the point of it, is to get people that the next time that you've seen something pop up out of it, you back on it like you never left. And when he finally dropped the belt, after 3 years, it became, it's where we are now. Cody Rhodes and he's doing a great job with the belt too. It's a new era. And so that's where we are right now. And so, we don't have that. We would love to have that, but would it be would it be marketable? We don't really have anybody that's marketable.
Yes,
that
I can tell you who. I can
who
tell
can
you
take
who.
the company right now as you sitting here today. Who can take the company to the next level?
Yes,
Who?
Carmelo Hayes. Get him like. Look, here's the thing that I just when we were just talking about with the Rock. Hold on. Here's the thing about the Rock that I get what you're saying about his championship runs. They weren't super long, but the Rock on the mic is what kept him in front of everyone else the way it did. That's what got him into acting. Let's keep it real. The Rock's promos got him into acting. The Rock's promos started SmackDown, the video game, the show.
I get it.
Agreed.
Like, let's keep it real. So if you take a person like Carmelo Hayes with his swag, check me out. You take a person like Carmelo Hayes with his swag, and you get him mic ability, or get his mic ability, excuse me, up to where the Rock's is, or something close to it, with the type of demeanor and swag that he has, he could be that type of champion. But have a dominant run, because there's so many young stars that's coming up. You get what I'm saying? That he could wrestle with and have different storylines with, and he could still be a face of the company as a black wrestler.
My problem with it is
that's all it's about. Your stage performance. If you can get on that microphone and carry the crowd,
I get it. I get exactly.
That's all you need to be able to do.
I get
John
everything that
Cena
you're
came
saying.
in rapping, y'all.
Listen,
Thugonomics. Like, come
listen, I
on.
get where you're coming from. This is the disservice, right? That's the Vince McMahon era. You got to remember, all
I was about to say,
champions, big champions, is what they look for. That's what the board wants. The board of directors, they want strong. They want somebody big. Carmelo Hayes will never get looked at like that, and that's a sad case. It is a
that's why they
sad
ain't keep
case.
Kofi. That's why they ain't keep Kofi. Because he's marketable, and I think they did it as a way to kind of appease the black
Accommodate,
community,
yes.
right? But at the end of the day, he wasn't really marketable enough to put the company on his shoulder. When you have a Stone Cold, when you had a Rock, when you had a Triple H, when you had a Shawn Michaels, you can actually lay the company on their shoulders. They can run a Roman Reigns. You give him the company for 3 years with a Brock Lesnar being there, but you put the company in the hands of a Roman Reigns who basically carried the company through that season of the pandemic and then even after you give this the company a greater look and a greater motivation to kind of do this. I think the thing about it is if we were to look at any black wrestler now, there's not one that they'll be able to say, hey, let's dump the whole entire company on the back of his shoulder. And there's not
That,
one in the company
that,
right now that they would choose
that.
on the roster right now. There's not one.
What you saying?
Hold on. I might have to deter and disagree.
Okay.
I might have to deter and disagree.
Who
You
you?
just brought up size, right? You brought up
Yeah.
size with
Uh huh.
with Carmelo Hayes. You brought up his size, right?
Yeah.
Who have we not talked about? Who was part of is part of a tag team champion or a tag team? Yeah, it's part of a tag team championship team. Not current, but it's part of a tag team championship team. Who wasn't that big before, but now is
Talking about
out
Montez
here
Ford.
looking
Are you
like.
talking? Are you talking about
hmm
Montez? Okay.
hmm
This is the curious case of
hmm
Montez, though, man. Listen,
You
listen.
can't put the company on his shoulder,
You
man.
cannot. You
You
can't do it.
cannot. I'm
You're
sorry.
looking. You're looking at him as an ambassador. You're not looking him as a leader of the company. That's the problem. That's where that. If that was the case, then my man Titus should have been a champion long
I
time
was about to
ago.
say the same
The
thing.
problem was
Uh,
he wasn't marketable,
uh,
and but making him an ambassador of the WWE, and it's almost like, oh, I hate to even put that in these terms. It seemed like it's just to accommodate them.
but
That's
you
what it
know what?
looks
There
like.
was one though. There was one we could have used. There was one. But outside of Mark Henry, there was one that WWE had an opportunity to use. And they did not. I'm connected to him to this day, right now, and that's Ahmed Johnson. Remember when
Oh,
Ahmed came out?
hmm
Ahmed was
Uh-huh.
huge. He was dominant. He gave us that Brock Lesnar before there was a Brock
Brock
Lesnar.
Lesnar.
He
Yeah.
gave us that. And we could have used that. We could have marketed him and could have put him in a place. But you got to remember who was running the show. It was Vincent Kennedy McMahon. And when Vincent McMahon said, hey,
Yep.
we can't use him, he's not marketable enough, then you end up getting rid of him. And now he has no value at all. But Ahmed Johnson at that time was like the dominant face that could have taken the reins of the. But again, we talking about coming up doing with the Undertaker. You talking about coming up again with Mick Foley. You coming up against The Rock and Stone Cold and all that era of the attitude where you needed something dominant. And at the time, he was the only superstar at the time besides Bobby Lashley, which is currently on the roster, that you can actually take the company and put him on the shoulder. But I can't put the company on the shoulder of somebody that has the potential of getting hurt, who if he gets hurt when he comes back loses the momentum because we don't have the same Bobby Lashley push than we had before. Now you're making him a look,
Even
a
with the
side piece.
Roman Reigns situation, the Roman Reigns situation with him having his sickness, they were able to monitor it. They were able to um,
Yep.
get him in when they needed to, and then when he could
Yep.
take his break. And a lot of people saying, well, his championship run wasn't forceful. You got to remember, this whole dude got a sickness in his body. It would have been
Absolutely.
totally different if he did not have that. If he does
Right.
not have that sickness, he's there every week.
Absolutely.
Every single
Absolutely.
week. Because remember, there
Absolutely.
was times where Roman was after John Cena. You're not
Yep.
here every week. Cena
Yep.
did that to The Rock. You're not
Yep.
here every week. And it was
Yep.
passed down from each top wrestler. You're not here every week. And then Cena got that, I said, Cena, like I told you, Cena got that treatment. Right. So with that even being said, if he wasn't sick, he'd be out there right now.
Agreed. Agreed.
But you
And he
had to
needed
make
this time. He needed this time because he held the company.
I agree.
He held the company
yes.
together.
He
Like he
literally had
managed.
that sucker on his back for
He
3
held the
years.
company together. And I'm sorry, there's not a black wrestler in our current WWE, whether Raw, SmackDown, or NXT, that they could put that company on the back and on the shoulder of. I like Obafemi, but I have a strange, weird feeling if they move him up too soon, he's gonna be like a Braun Strowman. We're gonna lose him.
Mm.
We're gonna lose
And,
him, man.
and that's how I feel. And stepping away from that, that's how I feel about Gunther. I keep
Yeah,
saying it because I feel that way about him. It's like as soon as he loses his or gets his title run, they're
yeah,
gonna treat him like Vladimir Kozlov.
yep. I was about to say, yep. Vladimir all over again, man.
Vladimir Kozlov. Do you remember that
Yeah,
name, Vladimir
I do.
Kozlov?
I do. I do.
Listen, and they
I
made
do.
him a champion.
Yeah.
They made him the world
Hmm.
heavyweight champion. And then before you knew it, he dropped the belt and he faded off
Faded
so
off the
quickly.
scene.
He's doing dances and all that stuff. I'm like,
Yeah.
what are you
Yeah.
doing? What are you
I
doing?
just I
And
really do have that feeling. I think that at the end of the day, and it's something to be talked about. It's something to be talked about. I mean, unfortunately, we do have quite a few black athletes in there. However, at the end of the day, WWE will never be able to see the I think the only storyline we get out of all of this, honestly, is gonna be Bianca and Jay
oh
Cargill.
my gosh.
I'm
And
telling
and
you, it's the only thing we're gonna get out of this. There is
and
no
you
other
know,
way you're gonna be able to get anything else.
when we had Sasha Banks, Bianca Belair, listen,
It
it was
was
okay.
highlighted. It was
It was
highlighted.
highlighted. But this
Yeah.
Bianca versus Jade, dude, we said this the minute we talked about this when I was in H Town. That the minute that Jade Cargill makes her way to
I
WWE,
said it. Yep.
that's the program that she's
Hmm.
gonna be in. And it was like,
Absolutely.
no, 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 no. They
Yep.
gotta work together. Bianca versus Jade at at WrestleMania is always been a fixture. And if it gets there to Vegas, Lord have mercy, they better be ready to throw the house down. You got to give me 15 minutes of nonstop
But see, that's the
action.
thing. How do we get there? Because you still gotta get. Remember, you gotta consider everything with WWE. So now that's why I said we gotta be writers, because I'm going into the writers. I'm going into the writers guild real quick. Remember Royal Rumble. Remember Royal Rumble last year when Jade Cargill made
Yep.
her first debut. When she came out, who did she throw over the ring? Who did she?
Nia
Who
Jax.
she? Nia
Yep.
Jax, and she had that big old face off with Bianca in the middle of the ring. They're going to eventually get to that. That storyline has to still be prominent because now, mind you, she did throw out Naomi too, but we ain't gonna even use that as an issue, right? Remember that. Y'all remember she threw out Naomi too.
Uh-huh.
But
Mm.
but but
Ooh.
but we ain't gonna use that as an
Ooh.
issue because her and Naomi, I think they're gonna stay settled that. I think the issue though is tagging them two together and both of them doing the strength thing. Hey, I'm stronger than you. It's gonna be the strength over strength over strength with Naomi. I mean with Bianca and with Nia Jax. It's got to be who's the strongest out of all of us and who's the
You
most effective. I'm
you
telling
call
y'all, we got to get
yourself
to it.
you call yourself the EST of WWE, right?
I'm
Listen,
a writer.
check this out. Tag team action, bad blood, they lose. Soon as that happens, we all on the road to
To Royal
WrestleMania.
Rumble. With Royal Rumble is
Royal
gonna
Rumble,
be
right?
their big fight is gonna be at Royal Rumble,
Right.
and then that's gonna lead to a Nia Jax at WrestleMania. They gotta get to Nia. Nia gotta be in the play somewhere. So
Yep.
if you're gonna get Bianca and Jade at WrestleMania, then Nia gotta be in within the confines of this big issue between now and Royal Rumble, because Royal Rumble is the key to WrestleMania. Everything that
Yeah.
happens in Royal Rumble leads us to WrestleMania. So
Does
if you're going to do that, it's got to be effective. That's why I
okay.
say we got to go into the
Do
writing
you
process.
put
I said,
Jade
I'm done.
Cargill? Do
Yep.
you have Jade Cargill win the Royal Rumble in February?
Mm, I don't know.
It
Yes,
has
yes, I do. Yes, I
okay.
do.
I
Let
don't
me tell
know.
you why. I'm telling you yes, because remember, it's got to get back to whoever holds the title. And Nia probably will be the one holding the title by time WrestleMania comes around. So you have to give them that battle is gonna happen. One way or the other, Nia Jax and Jade Cargill are going to have that massive battle because of what happened at Royal Rumble last year. It's gonna happen, regardless to what. Now, however they spin the Jade and Bianca moment is gonna turn everything. So we still got to get that part. But Naomi, but Jade Cargill and Nia Jax got to be the end result, because Jade Cargill got to prove herself that what she did at Royal Rumble wasn't a fluke. She's strong enough to get rid of the biggest woman in the in wrestling right now, and she's strong enough to manhandle her.
I wanna
That's what we're gonna get to.
I wanna put out this comment real quick. At the end of the show, I promise you we're gonna get to that in just a few minutes about South Sudan and how they was playing with USA. We're gonna get to that. We're gonna get to that. I promise you. All right. So
Boy.
wait, we're gonna get to it. I promise you. We
Yeah.
got 3 minutes. I got 3 minutes with this. My thing is I would love to see that, but I remember we talked about on Friday was the Nia Jax bloodline situation. Does that infiltrate into the mix going forward? Because granted, we got women in factions right now with male factions, but is would that be promising to put them? Because I mean, that makes them an even more dominant force. Yeah, like you see it. We seen it then when they didn't add the women. We sitting there talking about it. Why y'all not adding? Why y'all not adding Nia?
Tamina.
Why you not adding Tamina? Why you not
Yeah.
throwing Naomi back in this mix? Because believe it or not, she is part
Yep.
of it.
A 5'2".
She's a 5'2", whether you want to take it or not. So, but okay,
I don't
all right,
know. I don't know. I don't know how we would include that. I don't know. I don't know. It depends on when they do the rival with those two. I think
yeah,
that's
it
what's going to
is.
be the determining factor. Is
I was
whenever they do that rivalry, I think that's gonna determine how
bad
you include the
blood,
women.
boy. Bad blood is gonna be some October. I think,
Woo!
and I think how they making this pay-per-view to be. How they make that pay-per-view to be. See, I don't even think they're gonna do Saudi Arabia. I don't even know. I don't even know.
Saudi Arabia.
There is two pay-per-views
Question.
then too.
I got a question. I
When I have
got
an
a
answer, let's
question.
go.
I
What you
got a
got?
question. If they add the women to these bloodline factions, could we see a mixed Survivor Series match between the bloodline?
Mm.
Mm,
I think it's too early.
no, it's
I
too
think it's
early.
too
Yeah,
early to
that's what I'm
That's
tell.
thinking. That's what I'm thinking. It's too early. It's too early for it yet. They're not ready for that.
Yeah.
Maybe next year,
Because we still haven't really got the bloodline off the ground, like the battle between the two. We haven't gotten that off the ground yet.
yeah,
So I think
exactly.
bad blood is going to be the opening of the door to it. I'm telling y'all, it's going to get back to like Royal Rumble when all of this stuff is going to be like exposed. We're going to start seeing everything like, because that's always the lead to
To wrestle,
WrestleMania. So
yeah,
yeah,
it's
so
always the road. I always told people it was
crazy, man.
Survivor Series, but you don't even know now what's going to cultivate when we get to November. Lord willing that we all get to November. But at this rate right now, it is going to be nuts. And as much as we sitting here, we got these different ideas and stories and stuff. Man, I just like the fact that we don't know where it's going to go.
I
We just
really
have no
hope
idea.
Triple H. I hope Triple H and the writers are watching the A Train show. They need to.
Yeah.
We need to make sure we start tagging them in this so they can kind of
This guy
see.
definitely does it. He definitely does it
Definitely
for
do.
sure.
Make sure because we need to be a part of the writers committee and let y'all
Listen,
brainstorm and bounce ideas from us to them.
I can tell you a whole bunch of people want that job too, man. Everybody want that job, man. Okay, last thing before we get out of here, we got about 10 minutes. I said that, and my man Dre said that South Sudan got athletes, them African brothers was going crazy, but it's okay. It's just a learning lesson for Team USA. I don't think it's a problem because this is for the USA basketball team, it's nothing but a tune up to get ready for uh, it's a tune up to get ready for the Olympics. Okay. And I sit here now, we look at the roster that they have. We don't have don't know Kawhi Leonard, but now we got Derek White. They wanted some defense, and there are going to be games where they're not going to shoot well. There's going to be games they're not going to shoot well.
Yeah, yeah.
That's why I'm not truly worried about USA hoops because you got to fine tune it. They got a game, I think today against Germany. So it's another fine tuning match to straighten out what you have and get it. Sudanese players are going to make their way into pro basketball at some point, and they're going to have a force. We had Luol Deng, and somebody else brought Manute Bol came to attention. They've had some players that had success in the NBA, and so those guys are getting ready for that. And for South Sudan to have that type of game against them, that's good for Sudan. But even for USA, it was good. You want to know why I say it's for both? Because it gave confidence for Sudan to say, hey, we can compete with anybody. But for USA, it's like, hey, we got to humble ourselves and go back to the drawing board. So I'm like, come on, man. They're supposed to be competitive. They ain't supposed to be blowouts all the time. I don't actually want to see a blowout. I want to see competitive games in this Olympics. Why are you looking like that? Why are you looking like this, sir? Why are you looking
Let me
like
tell
that?
y'all something. Let
I'm
me
gonna
tell
sit
y'all
back on
something.
this one.
Y'all, you already know I'm Team USA all the way. But we better not go into any of these games thinking we are the best team in the world. And the reason why I say that is because of how many international players are in the NBA and show their dominance and how good they are and what is around this world when it comes to basketball players.
I
Luka
have a
Doncic,
different. I have a different opinion.
the Joker.
Okay.
I'm just saying, listen, it's times has changed. We got stars out there that are unknown. There's ballers out there that are unknown. Like Sabrina said, LeBron saved Team USA from embarrassment.
Okay.
But at the end of the day, even that, I still think that there should have been a foul called at the end of that game that wasn't called. And South Sudan actually should have won that game because there was a foul that was not called. You can go back and look at the end of the game, look at that last play. There was a foul that was not called. So at the end of the day,
I
Team
think
USA would have actually lost that game
Let me see. Let me
because all
let's
my
see
man
Pat
would
look
have
at
had
on
to do
that.
was shoot 2 free throws and make them.
I
Go ahead, Pastor.
honestly believe that Team USA has something they have to prove. They need to prove it. Let me tell you why. Because if it wasn't for the 92 team, we wouldn't have to have this eye of dominance on our teams. But because of the simple fact of what happened in
Right.
92, unfortunately, you cannot put that kind of standard out there and then say, hey, well, we went from the most dominant crew in the world to a team that barely made that made bronze once, went back gold. You know what I'm saying? We in fluctuating within our
And,
ranks. I
and
have a problem with that.
to that effect, it all cultivated from that 88 team and it cultivated from that 04 team. Now, if you remember the 88 team, David Robinson, I think, was on that squad, and they won bronze. They were like, never again will we have a bronze USA team, right? And
Yep.
then the first time that the pros got anything other than gold was 04. Because the pros got big. I think that was a time where LeBron was like 19, 20 years old, and he was on that
Yep.
squad.
Yep.
19, he was already on the
Yep.
squad.
That's my
They already
point.
had that. So 04, they was like, never again will we get a medal lower than gold. We're going gold, and that's that. We ain't going no lower. And then right after that, each year after that, they got the gold. So they're going for 6 times in a row. Now, um, what was that? 2000. 2000 was probably the team that everybody started thinking that the USA team was starting to fall off
Yep.
because there was more closer battles than there was before. I
Yeah.
think their
Yep.
championship game, it was a lot closer than what people expected.
Yep.
That this USA team should be full of dominance because of the type of players that they have on the floor, that they orchestrate, that they're a dominant team. And in this case, me personally, I just want to see level competition. Now, I don't mind a team winning by 10. You win by 5, okay. But if you get it like a 1 point win by South Sudan, okay, at least it was competitive, but as long as they still get the dub, that's all that matters. Win is a win.
I don't think
But
nothing need to be close now. I think they need to be
what you
pushing
saw,
for it. Pushing for it. I'm sorry. You talking about the best in the world. You talking about the best in our league going against some of the best across the country. I think we need to push for it. I just honestly, I'm
blowouts
sorry.
already.
They set the standard. They set a standard for us not to be the best in the world.
And
And
here's the
why not?
man, and the
Why not?
problem with that,
Why,
the
why
problem
not
with
though?
that,
I mean, I said I had a problem with it because you put all of them together and they blowing people out by 20, 30, 40 points a game. Like they tearing, they ripping through countries like
now
without
you
with like water.
now you do remember what was that year, the 92 team, a lot of the teams, the teams that they played against, they were just happy because they was on the same floor as their
Yeah,
idols.
I
So
know.
it,
They
it
ain't
made it
scared of these
difficult.
jokers now. They ain't scared of them.
Right, because there's
No
not quote
killer
unquote
mentality.
idols.
There's
They
no killer
all want to
mentality.
destroy USA. That's where
That
we at
you
now.
remember? You remember the did you get a chance to see the documentary with Kobe? When Kobe said to the I think it was the
12 team.
2012 team where he told them, he said, "Hey, Powell is on my team, but if he on that floor against us, he's an opponent." And he said they're gonna throw him the ball first. I'm telling you right now, I'm gonna run through his A. Is what he said to his teammates. I'm gonna run through him. And the first play of the game,
They threw it to Powell.
Kobe ran through him, and all of them, Carmelo, LeBron, Dwayne Wade, they all looked and said, "Hey, if this man did this to his teammate, who he plays on the Lakers with, and he did this to his brother, hey, we gotta go out here and ball." that we don't have a dogmatic person on the floor other than one, but he's not the leader. We got one on the floor playing for the Team USA right now, but
I know
he's
you
not the
talking about
leader.
Anthony Edwards. I know you
Anthony
talking about
Edwards.
I knew you were
Anthony
talking about
Edwards.
Anthony Edwards. I
You
knew
got
you were
one
talking about him.
dog out there. You got one dog.
I
You got
knew
one.
you was talking about him.
You
I
got
knew it.
one dog. One. It's only one on that team, but it's not his team. So you cannot make him be dogmatic because he's new coming into the whole flow, and this is his first ride at it. So
But it's just his same. What's crazy though is it's his same game that he plays on the floor when he's like, man, I don't care if I got USA on Minnesota, man, I'm here to destroy. And that's the mentality that you gotta have. You gotta be at we destructive. We gonna kick you coming on the floor against me. I'm coming to get you.
I'm
That's
trying to
all
tell you,
there is.
that was
Hey,
why they got back to
as
gold. That's why they got back to gold
is
because
having a dog.
Kobe did it. Michael Jordan was the dog before. Kobe Bryant was the dog before. You do not have a dog on the floor right now other than Anthony Edwards, and his voice don't matter when you have a LeBron, when you have a Steph Curry, when you have a KD
Time
and
out.
an AD. You don't give
Wait a
him that
minute.
voice.
Wait a minute. I disagree
Okay.
because think about it. I understand that these guys have been established. I get that. But if a young voice is able to resonate with this or with this team, I'm not saying he's the takeover person, but if he's able to put little nuggets in these guys' heads, and because you got to understand, LeBron 39, he ain't
Yep.
no 21-year-old like he was before. He ain't 19. This is 39 LeBron, not 19.
Yeah.
Yep.
And you gonna need LeBron gonna need a little bit of dog from somebody else other than himself. And granted, he was the one that got the win in his past exhibition game, but this is not a big thing here. I mean, this is great to have Anthony Edwards like this. All
Hey,
right,
bro.
y'all. Let me tell you something. We got to get out of here because it's 1 o'clock now. And look, and they doing the final tune up now as I'm watching Sports Center. All right, thanks to everybody that tuned in today. I know we had an amazing show. Thankful to Pastor for hopping on and doing his thing. And he's heading out this weekend. So make sure y'all send him some love and prayers that they get there to their destination safely in Detroit. Wednesday,
Yes, sir.
Kev, you back in for Wednesday, man? You got it?
I'm good for Wednesday.
Oh, you good too? Well,
Yeah, I'm good
now
for Wednesday. Friday will be a little difficult for me. I'll be on the flight then by the
Wednesday. You know
time we
what?
work.
I can be
Wild
there on
Wednesday.
Wednesday.
Wild Wednesday. I'm finna get the boys. Hey, I'm gonna have to put them in separate rooms from you, sir, because we're going to get all of they. We got to get their reactions on themselves, man, because I
They
want to see
funny,
how this
man.
looks. And I know, they will. They always love to be in it.
Yeah.
Uh, so Wednesday, the crew is gonna be back at it again for Wild Wednesday. We're gonna have some fun again, and if if y'all want to, y'all can text me what y'all would like to talk about. I ain't got to just do this on my own now. I done made a team, so this team is here, and so that's how I'm looking at things now.
Yeah, let's go.
A Train and Friends is what we got going on,
Let's
man.
go.
And
Hey,
uh, let's see what happens on Monday Night Raw
let's
tonight, and we'll touch bases on what transpired. And of course, Tuesday night with NXT, as we're getting closer to SummerSlam, it is literally 1 week away.
Yes, sir.
And we got some big matches that's going to be cultivating when we get to that, especially the big one probably is going to be Solo Sikoa and Cody Rhodes, and seeing who is going to walk out of Cleveland with the title. We have our belief of who is going to win it, but we're going to see, no one to know if something's going to happen majorly during that match. Will we get the return of Roman Reigns? Will we get the return of Paul Heyman? That's what's going to be at stake when we get to SummerSlam. Boy, I cannot wait. And my guys, we're gonna be at it again Wednesday at noon. So make sure you
Go.
tune in right here on Fuel Sports Network. You can check us out at fuelsportsnetwork.com, and you can always check us out on the app on Roku TV, on your
Yes,
Amazon
sir.
Fire Stick TVs and Amazon TV, all that good stuff. Okay, make sure you locked in Wednesday, 12 o'clock noon, 1 p.m. Eastern, right here on Fuel
Let's
Sports
go.
Network. So for JT, you no longer special guest. You now permanent. I guess we're gonna call it here on July 22nd, man. All right. So for you guys, this is the
Let's
A Train
go.
Arlington Lane
Let's
signing
get
off.
it.
Let's get it. We out of here. We'll see y'all on Wednesday. Okay, y'all.
Yes,
Take
sir.
it easy. Take it
Let's go.
easy.